footwear for running. Okay, so what I want to do today is I want to talk about the 4 key things you should look for when you're buying running trainers. Okay, so there's 4 key characteristics that I would recommend. I myself wear Vivobarefoots. I have done for the best part of 10 years now. I'd never wear anything else. That's a Vivobarefoot shoe for those of you who are not familiar. Yeah, but it's not the only option. So whenever you're buying running trainers, I want you to think about 4 things. Okay, number 1, flexibility. Okay, so let's compare and contrast here. This is the sort of shoe I used to wear. So before I discovered minimalist running, by the way, if you haven't checked out Chris McDougall's book, Born to Run, you've got to read it, guys. Yeah, it's a life changer. Check it out. This is what I used to wear. Yeah, before I saw the light, so to speak. So this is an ASICS Gel. It's kind of a trail version. That's why it looks a bit grubby. Yeah. I always say you should never. It's like having a clean 4x4. It's not right. Yeah, they're designed to get mucky. Yeah, this is equivalent. So it's not the cleanest because I've actually used it for what it's meant to be used for, right? Running trails. So it's ASICS Gel. So flexibility test on ASICS Gel. Ooh, that's not bending much, is it? See that? So the only sort of flexibility, I've got a tiny bit of flexibility there around the toe box. Okay, compare and contrast. We've got a Vivobarefoot shoe there. Quite a contrast, isn't there? So fundamentally, our feet were designed to flex, yeah? But when running, the feet can only flex to the extent that the shoe lets them. So with Vivobarefoot, absolutely full flexibility there. Compare and contrast, ASICS Gel. This is what I used to wear, yeah? I made the same mistakes. I've been there. Flexibility, yeah? Really, really bad consequences for foot health, including the plantar fasciitis, the tendon at the bottom of the foot there. Okay, so that's number 1, flexibility test. Vivo obviously aces it. ASICS Gel, not so good. Okay, number 2, toe box. What's toe box? Toe box is this area here, yeah? It's the actual width is the room, toe box, literally the area of the shoe that your toes sit in. How wide is that toe box? That's criteria number 2 is there's got to be enough room in the shoe for the toes to move naturally, okay? So toes are designed to start the job of shock absorption, okay? When I say the job of shock absorption, the body is designed in a very clever way, yeah? The body has its own built-in shock absorption, and the toes are meant to splay when they touch the ground, splay, and then contract back in and splay and contract back in, yeah? And it's that very action that starts the shock absorption, okay? Remember, the shock or impact of when your foot touches the ground, that is going to dissipate somewhere in the body, yeah? So if it doesn't dissipate, basically, if it doesn't dissipate at the toes, it's going to dissipate further up. And much of the time, it ends up dissipating in the knees, okay, which is why so many people get running injuries in the knees. So to stop that happening, the shoe has to have a wide enough toe box that the toes can do their job, splay out and in, especially the big toe has to have enough room, okay? So you've got to look at your shoe, whatever you're running in, and look at the toe box. Is there enough room for the toes to splay out, or do they feel cramped? Okay, so let's compare and contrast. So this is a Vivobarefoot shoe that I run in, so nice and wide at the toe box, as you can see. How's that? This is what I used to run in, okay? This is what I used to run in. So on this front, ASICS Gel, toe box, it's not awful. It's okay, yeah. I mean, it's not hugely obvious the difference between the two, but you can tell it's just on the outside here. Just this extra bit of room here on the outside of the barefoot gives that crucial extra in terms of allowing the toes to do their job and splay naturally. But in fairness, ASICS Gel, in terms of toe box width, not too bad. It's okay. Right, so we're going through the 4 key characteristics that you should be looking for when you're buying running shoes, okay, to keep healthy and uninjured in terms of your foot health, and just basically make sure that we all want to run, we all want to keep running, but 2/3 of runners are injured every single year. Why? A big factor is they're running in the wrong footwear. Yeah, that's bad for them. Okay, let's have a look. We've done 2. Let's go on to characteristic number 3. Okay, cushioning. This is a big one. Cushioning. ASICS Gel. Look at that. Yeah, so that is best part of 1 inch of cushioning on the heel. Vivobarefoot, what we got? 0 cushioning anywhere else. Yes, there's 2 separate elements we're going to talk about. This is just cushioning that we're talking about now. I'll get on to heel drop in a moment. Cushioning. Okay, so what does cushioning do? So obviously, to a certain extent, shoes are designed to provide a bit of protection, yeah? Because we don't want to be walking accidentally on glass in a footpath and basically to cut our foot, right? Shoes are designed to protect our feet, okay? But how much cushioning do we actually need to achieve protection? Very little. Vivobarefoot, no cushioning as such, just a hard sole, yeah? It'd have to be a pretty thick amount of, pretty thick bit of glass to actually penetrate that, okay? So, basically, that's all you need. In terms of protection, you don't need cushioning, okay? What is cushioning doing when we run, okay? Where's most of the cushioning? It's on the heel, yeah? Cushioning's on the heel. It's also on the rest of the foot. What's that doing? It's blocking nerve endings. So, think of how tickly your feet are. If someone goes to tickle your feet, it's really, really tickly, right? That's because there's so many nerve endings on the bottom of the foot. And again, you know, nature's clever. Nature is a lot more clever than shoe designers, yeah? We've got those nerves on the end of our feet for a reason, yeah? It's because they are meant to send our brain signals about the terrain we are running on, okay? They're meant to tell us when we need to correct our gait, yeah? They send signals up to the brain, which then send signals back to our muscles to tell our calf to tense a little bit more, or our toes to splay out a little bit more, etc., okay? We need those nerve impulses to go back to the brain. If we've got cushioning, they're just completely dulled, yeah? It's like the whole nervous system is cut off in a bad way, okay? Compare and contrast with the Vivobarefoot, no cushioning there, yeah? A little bit of protection, but those signals, yeah, on the nerves, yeah, which actually feel what's happening on the ground, they're going to get back to the brain, and the brain's going to be able to do its job in terms of telling us how to adjust our gait as we go along, which is what nature intended. So in terms of cushioning, you can see the difference. Massive cushioning on the ASICS Gel, minimal cushioning on the Vivobarefoot. Okay, so next up is kind of related to cushioning is heel drop. Okay. This term's being used more and more. What does it actually mean? So heel drop means the difference in height, okay, between the heel and the toe. It's as simple as that, yeah? So you'll hear different sort of numbers quoted for that. So you can't see it on this because the heel drop is 0, basically, yeah? On this, it's very evident. ASICS Gels, what I used to run in, massive difference in height between the heel and the toe. Okay, so what is that doing? It is encouraging us, yeah, to run on our heels. We've got all that cushioning on our heels. You try right now, just jumping up and down on the spot. Try jumping up and down on the spot on your heels with no footwear on at all. Yeah? You're not going to do it for many seconds because it bloomin' hurts. Yeah, the body was not designed to heel strike. Basically, massive heel drop associated with good cushioning on the heels basically just encourages us to heel strike. What does that mean? Basically, it means when we take a step, the first part of our foot that lands is the heel. What's that doing to your body mechanically? That is applying effectively a massive brake force on our running stride. Okay, the heel plants first. Remember what we said about the toes? They're like the first port of call in terms of shock absorption. None of that's happening. Yeah, the heel can't splay, the heel can't shock absorb. So that force has to go somewhere. Yeah, that shock has to go somewhere. Going to travel up the leg, up the ankle. Where's it going to hit? The knee. Yeah, heel striking is really, really bad for the knees. I say that as someone who has had a serious knee injury, yeah, and has had an ACL reconstruction. Heel striking is really, really bad for our knees. It's possible to run with good technique with these shoes, yeah, but it's far easier to run with bad technique wearing these shoes. They encourage bad technique. They encourage heel striking, yeah, because superficially it feels okay, yeah, at the foot, heel striking because of the cushioning, but it's the knees that are going to suffer. If you try to heel strike heavily with these, that's going to hurt, yeah. These shoes are far more likely to encourage you to plant the midfoot, the ball of the foot first, okay, which is going to be far, far safer long term for your knee health and your ability just to keep on running, which is what all of us want to do, okay. So in summary, there are 4 for all of you who've been asking us what trainers, what running footwear should I be wearing during lockdown as I'm running more. 4 key characteristics. Number 1, flexibility. Gels, yeah, really not flexible. Vivos, completely flexible. Toe box, that's how much width here, how much room your toes have to do their job, to splay, to shock absorb in and out. Vivos, excellent. ASICS Gels, not the worst, but narrower, crucially, at this outside lateral point here. Okay, number 4, cushioning. Cushioning blocks the nerve signals and stops us making those crucial gait adjustments. Okay, Vivos, minimal protection, just enough. Yeah, ASICS Gels, loads of cushioning. Yeah, completely blocking the natural nerve signals from getting to our brain. Not good. And last but by no means least, heel drop. Difference in height between the heel and the toes. Vivobarefoot, 0. ASICS Gels, what I used to run in, at least an inch there, at least an inch. What's that encouraging us to do? All that cushioning, heel strike. What does that result in? Often, unfortunately, knee injury. Okay, so if you're interested in learning more about this and potentially transitioning to a barefoot running trainer and a minimalist running style, do check out our earlier videos on running technique. Of course, it's not necessarily something you're going to want to do overnight, yeah? Some people may be able to transition more quickly than others, but we'll be doing future videos telling you how to transition safely. For now, thanks for listening in. Please do send any comments. This will be stored on our YouTube channel, and if you do find this information helpful and want loads of other advice on fitness and well-being, including express fitness classes all the way through from Pilates to high intensity interval training, do subscribe to our channel and get notified as soon as we add new content. For now, good to see you and look forward to having you on a future video. Take care.